It's time to enter the drone zone with me, James Drone, aka Pure Ambient Drone. So hit that subscribe button, tap that bell, and get ready to synth on.
Hey, welcome back for episode number 11. Wow, time flies when you're having a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with Midnight Synthesizer Talk. What is this? Because it's new, I've been giving you a little bit of an intro about what I'm doing here. First of all, I'm not stopping my normal uploads during the day. When there's news, when there's something to tell, when there's something to show, I have everything like I used to. So none of that is changing. Only this is an addition to my channel, okay? So I'm not taking anything away for anyone who is just scared that that is what's happening, all right? So this is Midnight Synthesizer Talk, and it's where I just talk on the microphone, and you guys can sit back, relax, without any visuals, without worrying about a screen or what's going on. It's something different, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's extra. So if you don't like it, you can tune out. You don't have to watch it, and if you like it, then catch me when I upload. I upload at 10 p.m. Why is it called Midnight Synthesizer Talk? Because I record these in the midst of the night at midnight. And it's so calm, it's so relaxing at this time of night for me that this is the best time for me to do it. So that's why I named it Midnight Synthesizer Talk. And again, I'm taking nothing away from my channel by doing these. This is extra work for me. So it's extra enjoyment for you. And tonight I want to talk about the Roland Fantom 2019. Now, this is a workstation, and I never talk about it, let alone hardly ever show it on my channel. I don't see this as the prettiest synthesizer that I have. It's a workstation, and it looks like just like any other workstation, and that's what it is. So I don't take a whole lot of pride in just showing it off. It's not ugly, and that's not what I mean by it, but it really is a jack of all trades. And if I had to pick one synthesizer in the studio forever and ever to get everything I've ever done, ever finished, I may have to go with this one because it does everything. It just doesn't do anything great. I know that sounds horrible, but this isn't the first choice that I would take to make my music with. It is something that gives me ideas. It's a drawing board, and there are some other things that I would do with it, okay, for commercial work and things like that, that can be just good enough. This thing sounds absolutely fantastic, but I have to be honest with you, when you put it up against even a Roland System 8, this thing really starts showing its true colors, and that is, it runs thin. And that's just my opinion. But I've talked to other people who have experienced the new Zenology or Zencore. Zenology actually refers to the software. The Zencore is actually the hardware. And those that I've talked to who have experienced the Zencore, the hardware part of it, they think that it's kind of thin compared to an actual Roland System 8. Roland System 8, in my opinion, is the best virtual synthesizer probably ever made as far as how good it sounds. It sounds that good. And so it's going to be really hard for them to beat that unless they just put the ACB technology into the Fantom, which they did not do. They didn't do it in any of their new Zencore synthesizers whatsoever. So with that being said, we're kind of stuck with this VST in a box, okay? Because that's what you're getting. You're getting software in a box. And you can easily imitate and replace anything that this synthesizer, the Fantom, can do inside the box. And so there's nothing special about it. But where it does really shine for me as a workhorse, I mean, it controls all of my synthesizers as a 16-track MIDI sequencer. It's got the T-Rec, or the, what's it called? I think it's called T-Rec or T-Record, whatever you want to call it, where you can just push the buttons and select which beat you want to be on. It's really cool. It's something that Roland invented, and they have it on this system right here on the Fantom. I love it, okay? But it also has a great set of sounds, and it can imitate a lot of synthesizers fairly well. And in a mix, it is at times extremely difficult to tell if it's the real deal or not. Where I think it falls short is like if you're going to try to imitate a Moog, there's just no way you're going to be convincing me that this thing is a Moog. But if you want to imitate some of the Rolands, and not all of them, okay, this thing really does shine. So when you boot this thing up, mine goes up to something by default because I haven't changed anything. You can change how it boots up and all this good stuff. I say boot up because this thing is really a computer keyboard. You got these scenes, and scenes are comprised of more than one voice. If that's what you want, I mean, you could make a scene of just one voice, but what would be the point? But in this case, you have one or two or more voices in a scene. And so when you select these scenes, you can have, like, if you want, a piano and a synthesizer, or a piano and a bass, or a piano and a string. You know, you forget piano, you could have strings and a bass. So you can change it up any way you want, or you can have a whole bunch of synthesizers. You can have 2, 3 basses if that's what you want. You can do any combination that you want. So I'm going to play a few things, and you guys are actually going to get to hear some of this tonight, and see what you guys think as I play through some of these scenes, okay? And I'm just going to pick all, you know, I'm going to have some scenes here in front of me. I'm just going to randomly pick some and let you guys hear. So this is the Roland Fantom 2019. So you can see that it really can come across as smooth and glassy and real pretty at times too. But if you were to compare these sounds to all analog synthesizers doing the same tricks, you would find that there were some big differences and that it is not analog sounding at all when it's compared to the real thing. I should know because I have a whole room full of analog synthesizers as well as digital. And I tried the experiment, and yeah, analog outshines this. But with that being said, I have to tell you that this synthesizer has some very convincing sounds indeed. And what's really cool is you can go to what they call a single mode play. And this is just one sound now. Now I'm going to have one. What you heard a while ago was a group of pad strings. But now I just want a piano. Okay? Just a piano. But I can, with the flick of a key, I can press. I want to go back to pads. I'm going to have one pad play. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? And it is a very fantastic synthesizer. Now, here's the thing. If I had to pick any digital synthesizer on the planet right now, this is it. And this is why I bought it. I think it is the best sounding digital synthesizer out there. There are some exceptions, okay, to this rule. And that is, I don't think the pianos are as good as they could be on this. The basses are amazing, though. And what's really cool is you have this bass, synth bass category that really sounds good. I'm going to go through some of the basses. What's really cool about the basses is it's already got effects when needed. So you don't even have to guess about what effect should I put on this bass, if any. I mean, you can remove the effects too. Got some real low tone there. I'm trying to play with the microphone in my way. So that's some of the basses. And then if you want to go real world strings, I'm trying to say. This has a supernatural engine in it too, and you probably remember that from the JDXI, the JDXA had it, and the Integra 7, just to name a few, and of course the Roland FA06 as well. So it's got some really cool real strings in it. It's got some winds. And I don't know. The last time I went through the wind section, I wasn't too impressed. But let's go through some tonight. That almost sounds like a string violin or something to me. And this is the sax. Let's go to flutes. That almost sounds like a D50. Pan flute. It almost sounds like somebody singing that. I'm liking the flutes, but not that one though. Just when I said I was liking them, they get a little weak. Okay, so that was the. Let's try some choir. Let's try some choir stuff. This is the reason why I sold my VC 340. I like the choir on that, but this has some really interesting stuff on it. This actually imitates the VP 330. I'll try some of these. And I really like the true polyphony on this. This is so cool. The polyphonic keys. Whereas on the other ones, you kind of had to hold a note to get the other note to sound. Not a problem with this one here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's just a few of the choirs. None of the choirs here really knocked me out. I think this is a good one though. I'm gonna try King's Choir. I guess that's a pretty nice one there. The choir pad. Let's see the choir pad here. I think I already did that one. Here's Lo-Fi Vox. Doesn't even sound like a choir to me. I've heard better choirs. I'm not playing all of them. I have 8 pages of these choirs, okay? And the pages, I can't even count them right here, right now, but there's a bunch on each page. So yeah, there's a lot. You also have synthesizer leads, okay? So these are the leads. I always thought that digital Rolands could imitate electric guitars pretty well. That sounds pretty close to one. So any of these in a mix is going to sound great, and I have nothing against this. This synthesizer really is an incredible workhorse that can just do. It could do it all, and it's really quick. It's got a touch screen on it. It's got intuitive workflow. You can be up and running in less than a day after unboxing this thing and just exploring it. And if you find yourself in trouble, just turn it off and turn it back on again because it resets back to where it was unless you save. And that's the cool part is that you can mess around with it. And I don't literally mean break it, but just kind of like get it to malfunction and turn it off and back on and bam. Which I haven't never had a glitch with this except for one. I did an update on the OS, and when I restarted it, it didn't want to start, and that scared the bejeebies out of me. But I got it working again. Yeah, that was a scary one because these run over $3,000. This is the 76 key version, and it's not cheap. So if something happens, you're gonna be like, ah. But with that being said, it is plastic, and the keys are full size. And it's a real strong plastic. I wouldn't call it a light keyboard, but I wouldn't call it something that's going to break your back to get out of a car. It is certainly going to fit in the back seat of a car, but it's going to take up the back seat of the car. It's pretty big. It's not too deep for its size either. It's got kind of a slim makeup on it. And it's not a bad synthesizer. I've got it sitting in front of my DAW, and that's why you never see it on camera because it's not my go-to synthesizer. It isn't. It could be, and I could write a lot of stuff on this, and I do. I like to use it for various things, but I do a lot of music for other people as well, not just myself. And when they don't want the analog or need the analog sound or desire the analog sound, which I do, I like working with analog, this is the keyboard that I reach for. But it is such an awesome synthesizer. And I don't know if synthesizer is the right word for it because it really is a VST in a box. Nothing against VSTs. I said in my last video that I have a lot of VSTs. And I use VSTs for various projects. So anyway, if you're looking for something to start out with, I would actually suggest this keyboard if you're not too picky about analog. If you just want to get every Roland sound you could imagine in one place, this is the place to start. This will fit. I mean, if I would have started with this, it probably would have been a lot harder for me to get more synthesizers because this thing is a lot of fun and it's great. The other thing is that it's a sound card. You can plug this into your computer, plug headset into this synthesizer or speakers, and this thing will be your computer's sound card. And you can record 16 tracks simultaneously right into a DAW from this synthesizer. So it's a really nice synthesizer. And like I said, if I was forced to pick one synthesizer, this would be it. And here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to let this cat out of the bag. And I don't even have a cat. But this is the cat I'm going to let out of the bag. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with all of the hardware and all of the choices, and it can be tedious working with hardware. Hardware to me is its own reward because one, it's fun to explore with the machine what it can do. But it can be tedious when you have a whole room full, like I do, to pick which ones you want to use. And so sometimes I'm so tempted because this keyboard is so good that sometimes I just want to just get rid of everything, okay, and just keep this one synthesizer. Isn't that crazy? I think it's nuts. Sometimes I feel that way when I get overwhelmed. Who doesn't get overwhelmed? And I wouldn't be human if I didn't get overwhelmed with the selections and the choices that I have in this room, because sometimes it is that way. And sometimes I just dream, if this was just a little bit better, if this was a little closer to ACB technology, this would be everything I would ever need. But it's not. The analog filter really helps out on this. If you get a Jupiter X or an XM, you will not be getting an analog filter. This is the only one that I'm aware of the Zencores as of this time of this video that currently has a real analog filter in it. At least that was how that's what I was told. I was informed of that. So anyway, if you know different and you can back it up in the comments, would love to hear from you. But if you're only thinking different, let's not argue about it. I don't know, but I do believe it is analog filter on this model alone. So yeah, what do you guys think of the Roland Fantom? Man, this thing is really nice. I like it. And what is your favorite synthesizer if you were stuck with just one? What would you pick? Would it be a Roland? Yeah, maybe it would be. Some of you probably have one of these. What do you think of it if you got one of these? I am James Drone, aka Pure Ambient Drone. Thank you for joining me again. Your comments are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that bell, and jamesdrone.com. That's the place to be to connect with me. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.